Hey, welcome back everyone. Today's video is going to be a masterclass on the longsword block in PvP. I was going to make this video about PvP and PvE and combine everything, but I figured it'd get a little too long, so we'll separate the two videos. We'll talk about some jump attacks first, positioning a little bit, and then we'll just jump right into the various weapons, starting with the arming sword. I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully this ends up being helpful to you guys before the end of the playtest. And hopefully they extend the playtest a couple days. Iron Mace, we love you. Extend that playtest. Alright, thanks guys. We'll get right into it. But one of the biggest things I see people not realizing is how beneficial it is to jump before initiating your attack. It lets you remove part of the slowdown from attacking that you get when you swing your weapon. It can really help with gap closing and really throw people off, especially as a fighter when you pop sprint and do it. You can see in this clip, this guy has no clue that we're going to be in range as soon as we pop sprint and jump. So it helps you get in tight on some different weapons, like the arming sword here. We get into the lowest damage sour spot by being right on top of him. Super beneficial. So make sure you're using jump attacks when you're using the longsword. Another thing we want to talk about is using 1 versus 2 situations to your advantage. Baiting an attack on one, blocking a parry from the other, and then using that parry to get the riposte on both players, or one player. It works great in a lot of different ways, and it can really turn around a lot of situations just by baiting an easy parry and then using it to kill another player that you're fighting. You could see it effective in the last 2 clips, and something that you should always be trying to do to get an advantage in those fights. Be careful though, because riposte is going to kill your teammates. I just smoked Ridio there for half his health or more. But blocking that arming sword, using it to kill this barbarian here, stuff like that is things you're going to want to be able to do with the longsword. One other thing is knowing your position around the environment. I get a parry here and we just smoke the wall. Instead of holding off and sidestepping right, or aiming right so that we can use the riposte, we just hit the wall. Take your time, be methodical, make sure you're getting your riposte off when you get a good parry. Alright, we'll start here with the arming sword. The arming sword's got a deceptive attack range, it seems like. Like you can see how it hits you before the sword's even poked fully out. It can be really hard to block the first attack because of that. You really got to get in close and aim kind of high and to the left. Don't forget you can drag the screen to catch part of the weapon too. The weapon has a duration that the attack will deal damage for, and that duration will also intercept your longsword during your parries. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's best to aim to the side and try and drag it into position. If you're fighting an arming sword guy, they're going to have a shield. Sometimes you're going to be poking their legs. Always try and hit their legs. Don't just stuff a shield like I do here. Alright? You can definitely riposte off parries and blocks, or parries and damage at the same time like that. Another thing is that the weapon, the longsworded model, is always active, right? You can always hit it when you're holding block. So you can react to some attacks even a little late, and as it drags it across into position, it can clip and create a parry, almost like a perfect time parry, you know what I mean? The easiest way you're going to hit a parry on arming sword is to tank the first hit or dodge it and hit the second one. Alright, the second attack comes from your right, their left, and it's a lot easier to catch that on the longsword because of the angles. It's just simply easier. So if you're struggling, you got the HP, tank that first one, parry the second one, riposte, win the fight. Alright, let's take a look at a full fight here. This guy played it pretty well. You've seen him pop a potion. I matched it. We're both matched. He pops victory strike. I pop sprint. Try to get in, deal some free damage. We parry. Fail to click soon enough. Kind of waited too long. We take the hit. We get the second one. Headshot. Easy win. Falchion's a lot easier, honestly, than the arming sword. It's more of a position thing. Trying to get distance back because the falchion really reaches and points forward during the middle of its attack. The falchion's definitely harder to take on a longsword than even the arming sword, despite its damage. You can see here how it hits almost our crossguard, and that's still a good parry. We take damage, but because of the way the longsword block works, our hands are up above our head. The horizontal animation of the falchion is almost always going to hit our hands when we're blocking. Even if we are unsuccessful in trade damage and block at the same time, like right here. That hits our arms, he does 5% damage or whatever, does so little damage, and then we just trade, riposte, headshot, headshot. And during the riposte, it keeps our hands up, covering our head as well. So, super beneficial. Hatchet, you won't come across this often. As long as you're positioning, you're going to be backpedaling. If you can have sprint up during fighting a hatchet player, you're going to be able to position very well into that. But it's pretty simple. You can see how the very vertical feeling of it, as long as you're aiming far enough left, you're going to intercept it. And it's going to set you up for easy big damage. Also, don't get mugged by rogues. Kill these dirty rogue players. Damn rogues. Next, we'll get into probably the most common encounter, Battle Axe Barbarian, or Battle Axe in general. Should have supreme confidence fighting these guys, but you can see here how I'm in close using my longsword poke to get my full damage from the thrust, because the point is the sweet spot, and catching the haft of the battle axe helps reduce damage. Then we back up, get in position for the easy parry. These are easy to parry, honestly. Strafe a little left and a little back if you're struggling, but aim far enough left and strafe left, and you'll probably start catching them very often. All right, I got these little slow-mo parts here so you can see it a little better. One good thing about the battle axe is that it also has a high attack pattern, so it puts their hands in front of their head sometimes. But honestly, still easy to parry. Even the horizontal is pretty easy to parry here. You see how it's crazy high up there, the top right? The point of our longsword is actually catching with the haft between his hands, because that's one of the sour spots. So that triggers our riposte and gives us the advantage. Probably not fair. They probably need to move some of the damage up further, but it's what it is. Here we have the double axe. The double axe can be a little tricky, but as long as you're positioning well and kind of back strafing, you probably will never have it catch you, because it almost has like a breakthrough swing, right? Aim far enough left, get a little bit of an upward angle, back strafe, move forward. Hopefully you can catch him with the first. If you can't, you'll catch him with the second part of the post. Borrow that. That's that clip. Borrow that parry from the arming sword. Finish the Barb off. Poor Barb. Betrayed by his fighter buddy. The bread and butter. Felling axe. Push into him. Back off. Angle it high and left. High and left almost always. We catch the haft. It looks like the haft. I think it's closer to the head, actually. It's just desync. Maybe. Who knows? We catch the haft. We get into our riposte. Headshot, headshot. And then an easy thrust to finish him. And that was through a shield. It can be hard to align it. Honestly, it can be hard to align it. You have to be pretty tight aligning it with the head or the haft. The felling axe is a very thin weapon. But keep practicing, aim high and left, and you'll get it. The Bardiche is not fair. It's so simple. It's just wrong. The Bardiche deserves so much more. Makes me sad. But it's almost the same as everything else, since the weapon is so long. There is so much space for you to put your longsword in the way of it. Aim high and left, and you're going to catch it. The harder one is the second hit, which is the thrust, because it comes out quickly. Aim down, kind of at their waist, strafe left, you're going to catch it. You can use this for the halberd too. I don't have the clip, but aim near their waist and strafe left, and you're going to catch it. On the clerics, flang mace. Hard to get, right? Positioning, distance between them, super important because of how far forward it pokes. It's so easy to get hit in the head and parry at the same time with these weapons because of that. Morningstar is the same thing, kind of same attack pattern. You really just backstep, try and get them to aim a little right, so you strafe a little left, you'll catch it, and then easy riposte over their shields if they're not dodging properly or blocking properly. Simple. It's Zweihander, I think, here, because I got it out of position. Should be with Barbarian, but this one's pretty easy. At least I think it's pretty easy. You're going to aim it down kind of like mid-stomach area-wise on the enemy character model. You're just trying to get your sword tipped forward on that lower angle. It's going to intercept it. You're going to walk in, riposte. Let's talk about the rogues and the rangers. Rogues, you're just going to face trade damage, always. There's no way to parry. Even the rapier, just no reason to. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna want to pop second wind at the start. I don't hear this is a massacre practically, but I'm lucky I have the speed shrine so I can run away with sprint speed shrine. Go into rogue fights expecting to have to burn second wind. It is the price you pay, especially in this playtest when they're a little stronger. Burn your second wind and then face trade damage. Rangers, you need throwing axes. Throwing axes. Throwing axes. Do not engage without sprint. And if you have a blue potion, use it. And then use throwing axes to hit the slow and gap close. Well, Z pattern. Z pattern as best you can. Crouch, left, right. Get in tight. Use your jump attacks to close the distance. Use your throwing axes to slow them while you're closing the distance. Reapply potions if you can. Get lucky they're bad. Who knows? It's hard to push. It's a little easier playtest 5. Well, not really, honestly. The ammo doesn't change anything. If they're bad, they're going to miss you. And that's just how it's going to go. Get in tight on them. Use your throwing axes and sprint to close the distance. And then chop them up. Throw them into the wall. Really, that's all I got for this video. If I get some clips of the spear or the halberd, I will share them. I know there's one halberd clip in here you guys can enjoy, but hopefully these tips help. You know, I love the parry and the repose feature. It's the best part of the game for me. I cannot use anything else. I just love it. So hopefully this will help you guys for the last day of the playtest, or if they extend it the last couple days, or for the next playtest or early access if Iron Mace pulls through for us. Good luck in the dungeon, and as always, take care. Be safe.